Hi everyone, it's Deanna here, and I have a little bit of announcement. It's a mini announcement, it's not a big announcement, but it's something I'm incredibly excited about. The first thing is that the next 4, 5, 6 months is going to be very Witching Pen focused on my social media channels. Okay, I'm going to be talking a lot about the Witching Pen, about writing the book series, my feelings surrounding it, what it entailed, and just bringing that back to life a little bit. Something I've also been promising that I haven't got around to doing yet is the book covers for the paperbacks. They need changing. I did say that I was going to do that back in like end of 2018 or 2019, and then everything went a bit topsy-turvy, but that needs doing, and that is going to be done over the next 4, 5, 6 months, along with the new project that I want to tell you all about. This may be more exciting for some of you than others, but it's incredibly exciting for me. This is something that I have wanted to do ever since I finished writing The Demon Bride. When I looked at those 3 books that I'd written and the story of the 3 women and just the journey they've been through, I thought to myself, wow, this would make a fabulous tarot deck. And it is now going to be a tarot deck. There is going to be a Witching Pen tarot deck, and I have already begun work on it. 10 of the major arcana cards have already been designed. I'm getting the whole thing done, and it's going to take, I think, about 4 months to complete the design on all 78 cards. I'm going to need an extra month on top of that because there's a little white booklet that's going to go in there, and I need to custom design the box for it as well. I am so excited about this because this is just this new way of bringing my books to life. I've been a tarot reader for a long time, since I think 1998. When you work with tarot decks with themes, you tend to bring those themes to life, and if you're a fan of the Witching Pen series, of course I'm a little bit biased, I wrote it. Using those cards is just really going to add a new dimension to the characters and everything. And plus, of course, you've got, as well as the fact that it's a great collector's item for fans of the series, you've also got that added factor that it's a divinatory system. So actually you can do the reading, lay out the cards, and then you've got, guidance that these characters are giving you, which for me is just like an amazing idea. I do readings anyway for other people, so to actually be using my own deck that's come from my own creations for those readings is just a really beautiful addition to what I do. I'm really looking forward to it. I am very excited about this project. It's got me fired up in a way I haven't been for years. As we go into it, I'd like to show you some of the cards, and I'm actually going to show you 2 of the cards that I've designed now. Bear in mind that these cards are in draft mode. They may go through a few changes still before the final production of the entire deck, but I'm going to show you Justice and Strength. The whole deck, for those of you who are familiar with the tarot system, the whole deck is going to be heavily based on the Rider-Waite system in terms of the meanings of each card and just the way that they're designed. But I am going to keep Justice at number 8 and Strength at number 11. A lot of people are used to number 8 being Strength and number 11 being Justice, but the very first tarot decks, the Marseille tarot decks, the Visconti Sforza tarot deck, all of those original ones before Rider-Waite did have 8 as Justice and 11 as Strength, and there is a timelessness to the way that I'm designing this deck. It's going to be made using vintage images, sort of digitally collaged together. It's got a really nice feel to it, and I think you'll get an idea when I show you those 2 cards in a minute, like the look of the whole deck. It does combine some vintage with some modern, but it's on a background of like timelessness. There's this timeless feeling which I really want for the Witching Pen because it is timeless. It brings in, it kind of, in some sense, it goes back to Genesis and the modern world clashing together. There's sort of like, kind of the setting for that entire series. So I want that to come through in the cards as well. So I'm going to go back to number 8 being balanced, but don't let that put you off if you're a reader of tarot, because you can still read it in terms of Rider-Waite meanings. Okay, I'm going to put this up on the screen for you now. The first card that I'm going to show you is Strength, number 11. And take a look at this. So there we go. So this is Eleanor, essentially. And this card is symbolizing her journey through becoming her Shankar demon and everything that she's had to go through, the emotional transformations that she's had to overcome, all of her fears and feelings of hurt and anger and so on. The transformation of all of that is strength. So this card represents her overriding those primal instincts to become who she is as a whole person, combining her human and witch self with her demon self. We don't really see the completion of that until the Last Dragon. The major arcana cards kind of span all of the stories, all of the 4 books. I thought that journey, her journey, would be a beautiful representation of the strength card. And as you can see here, I mean, there's a slightly gothic look here to this card. You've got her sort of like emerging from this shadow doorway. And in this particular card, you've got the butterfly above her. And we see that butterfly again in the very first card, the Fool card, which I'm not going to show you today. But there's significance in how that butterfly ties the Fool card, which essentially represents the beginning of her journey, to this particular card where we show her coming out of it, becoming her higher self, as it were, and being able to navigate and control her primal forces and primal urges. The butterfly is representative of her higher self. It's on the crown of her head. It's sitting in the light rather than the shadow. You've got the snake there, which takes her back to sort of her beginning, the very first book, where she has her first nightmare where she's seeing snakes and so on. So that's representative of her having befriended and transformed that element of herself. The other card that I'm going to show you, let's just bring that up for you here, is Justice. Now, I really like this card. This is Archangel Michael, and that statue, I believe, is of Archangel Michael as well. I love the look of this statue, and when I saw it, I just knew I had to have it for Archangel Michael and for this particular card. The green moss on his face looks like tears, and you know, his journey, we don't really meet him until sort of, I can't remember if it's End of the Demon Bride or in The Last Dragon, but his appearance into the Witchpen series and his journey was always one that kind of wrenched my heart a little bit, because he always means well. he really wants the best for everyone and the best for the whole world, and his whole reason for doing what he does is because he wants everything to remain in balance, and essentially that was the perfect reason for me to have him as this Justice card figure. We've got the sword down there. This sword makes an appearance in quite a few cards. It's the sword that Gawain uses, and it's the sword that Carl ends up using. This sword, the way it's depicted in this card, and then the 2 hands under it, one holding a heart and one holding the world. Look at the shape of all of that. That is representative of the scales of justice. And in this particular card, Archangel Michael is weighing up the needs of the heart over the needs of the world. So that is my Justice card, and that is my Strength card. And you can see from the images that we're going for a real archaic vintage feel for this tarot deck, with a slightly gothic overtone, and there's going to be some modern elements in there as well, because this series is set in the modern world. The Empress card, for example, still has the vintage feel, but there is, you know, a much more modern aspect to that card. And I'm going to show you some of these cards as we go into the next few months. With some of them, I'd really like your input as well. I'd like your thoughts, I'd like your ideas. If this deck really takes off, and by taking off I don't mean that it gets a lot of sales, I'm actually not expecting a lot of sales. What I mean is if it actually takes off, as in I use the deck in my work and it actually brings me a lot of joy and things come to fruition from it, and if it does the same for you guys too, for my readers, let me know. If it does that, then I will also look into making an oracle deck of the Witching Pen series. People who don't like tarot so much tend to like oracle decks. The Witching Pen series definitely lends itself to oracle deck use as well. I've got those ideas in the works. They're happening right now. I don't want to rush it. I want it to be good because I'm going to use these. So I'm very excited about this. If this is something that really works, I will look into making a tarot deck for the Eye of the Storm series as well, which will have a slightly different look in my head. You know, if I'm going, I haven't really gone down that road yet because the story of the Witching Pen more immediately lent itself to tarot for me than Eye of the Storm. But if I'm going to go down that road, I already have ideas about how I might do that, which I won't go into now because that's not what we're talking about now. But yes, that is my announcement. That is what I wanted to let you know. The pictures of the cards as I make them. I'm not going to show you all 78, but I'm just going to show you some key cards as we go into the next few months. Those are going to be talked about in videos like this on my YouTube channel, and this is on my author YouTube channel, so follow that YouTube channel to get to see the cards. The other place I'm going to put the cards is on Instagram. My Instagram link is at the bottom in the description of this YouTube video or in the comments underneath if you're seeing it on Facebook. Do sign up, do follow me. You're going to get to see a lot of cards. And you're also going to get my thoughts as I go through making these cards. I want to bring the Witching Pen series back to life really and give it a new lease, a new dimension, which is I think what these cards are going to do for me, and I certainly hope that in some way it'll help to do that for you as well, especially if you're a fan of the story and you really know the story very well. Don't be put off by the seemingly complexity of reading tarot cards. The little white book that comes with it is going to be, I think, quite clear in how to read it. I think I may also make a guidebook, but I'm going to offer that for free on Amazon. I don't see why you should pay for an indie tarot deck. They're not overly cheap, and then also have to pay for a guidebook. So the guidebook is going to be a free ebook on like Amazon or, you know, my usual platforms. Crowdfunding, I'm not doing crowdfunding for this deck. I'm going to fund it myself, then put it out for you when it's completed. So the chances are that you'll be buying it straight from the printers because that keeps costs down for everybody. The best thing that you can do if you want to help me make this deck is let people know about the Witching Pen series. If you think they'll like the style of writing, the kind of story, just please let them know about it. The first book is still free on most channels. Buy the series as a gift for them. I think the ebook is $5.95 or something. I can't remember off the top of my head. That's the best thing you can do to help get this project off the ground and the series off the ground and get people knowing about it. If you know somebody who reads tarot and they might like the story as well, perfect. Perfect. Or even if they're a collector of tarot cards, they might not actually read them, but they might like collecting. Let them know about it because this is a project that's really close to my heart and it means a lot, and that is the best way for you to help me get it off the ground. Other than that, you know, sit back and watch it all unfold. I'm going to have questions for you guys as I go into this to help me with the production, to help me produce something that you actually want, whether you are a fan of the series and just want it as a collector's item, or whether you're someone who actually reads tarot. I want input from all of you as to my thoughts, as to what you'd like to see in the deck, as to the ideas that you have, and we'll take it from there. We'll see how it goes. But I'm really excited. I'm really excited because I've had the idea to do this deck for such a long time, but I never knew how to do it. I never knew how to do it. And then all of a sudden I woke up 3 mornings ago, had my breakfast, and I don't know at what point during the day, about 11 a.m. about 11 a.m. the idea just filled my mind. It just landed in my lap, and suddenly I knew which archetypes I was going to use, which characters I was going to use for many of the major arcana cards. I could see how the story's playing out. I know what I'm going to use as the suits for each deck, but more of that later. Okay, so if you're as excited as me, drop your comments in the bottom, let me know what you think, and I look forward to showing you more as I go. Thank you so much. I'll see you soon. Bye.